Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cockerel cast. I'm former captain, current player Jason Thompson. I'm joined as always by good friend Michael Mawdsley. How are you, Michael?
I'm fantastic, Jason. Thanks very much. How are you?
Very well, thanks. And joining us is a gentleman who to Northerners needs no introduction, but we'll give it a bash nonetheless. He is a former Northern player, an accomplished referee, a well-respected president during his tenure. You name it, this man is likely to have done it. He's served on Northern's committee for many years. He's everyone's uncle. Of course, it's Joe Smith. Good evening, Joe. How are you this evening?
Good evening, Jason. Good evening, Michael. How are you guys, more to the point? How are you getting on, Jason? How's yourself and Laura and Jack doing?
We're very well, yeah. So I'm furloughed. Laura's working 4 days from home upstairs. So, yeah, childcare day after day for me. And Michael?
Good on you. And Michael, how about Kate and Carly and the cat?
Kate Callahan. Yeah, no, Kate's really good. She's back at work 2 days a week and working from the rest of the time, and I'm working from home full time for the government. So yeah, it's all good.
Excellent. Good. Well, listen, thanks for inviting me. I know why you invited me, by the way, Jason. I know why. Because you're really missing getting your weekly talk from a referee.
It's been a few months, yeah.
It has. You're one of the victims of this whole scenario.
True. So firstly, what are you drinking this evening?
Oops, excuse me, my house alarm's just gone off.
Oh dear. That's right.
Some sort of cake in there. That might have been the last I've ever seen him.
Very good. So firstly, Joe, what are you drinking with us this evening?
Well, I have a rather cheeky fine ruby port here for you.
Oh wow.
A Fortnum & Mason's fine ruby port. I've not had a port for a while, so I'm allergic to port. It brings me out in cuts and bruises. So I don't have it too often, but I have it here, so I'll just have a wee sip of that, I think.
Excellent.
But it's not alone, because I have my favourite liqueur also. I have a wee cheeky Drambuie.
Oh, lovely.
I like a Drambuie.
Excellent. Going big. Cheers. I've got my own favourite, a Guinness Extra Stout. And Michael, what about yourself?
Yeah. I have an Edinburgh Beer Factory lager, which is very unexciting.
Very good. So straight into it then, Joe, your lockdown situation, how are you managing?
Yeah, good, thanks, Jason. I'm on Onio here. My fiancée, Sheila, is in Harris, and she's on her own up there, and we've been apart now since the 6th of March. So I've been stuck here on my own now for how many weeks that is, but that's okay. I've just been slobbing about the house and yeah, that type of thing. So it's not too bad, but we could do with getting together again at some point, obviously. Sandra and Kenny Telford, Sandra and Kenny. Well, Sandra is doing some shopping for me. She clearly thinks that I'm someone who should be sectioned, or what's the word?
Shielded.
Shielded is the word. No, I think sectioned is what she said. And so she's doing some shopping for me, which is very nice. And so I'm doing a bit of exercise, going for a run. Do you want to see my indoor gym?
Yes, please.
Yeah, no, I'll show you my indoor gym. Oh. Here we go.
Oh, that's excellent.
Well,
you're putting us both to shame, Joe.
Listen, I've been doing that all my life, my old son. Don't worry about it. So good. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not having too bad a time, but it's being on its own brings its own sort of disadvantages as well. But there you go.
I'd imagine so. But then we'll head back and a quick touch on your backstory. Where are you from, and how did you end up splitting your time between Edinburgh and the Hebrides?
All right. Okay. I'm from Dundee. from a housing estate in Dundee called Fintry. I don't know how to explain Fintry to you. So it's like Beirut, except it's rough. It's probably a good expression. You'll know Dundee, of course. Dundee, if you've ever been there, it's you might not know that it's twinned with Las Vegas. I don't know if you know that. It's the only two cities in the world where you can swap chips for sex. So it's that's where I'm from. These are the jokes, folks.
I know.
So yes, I'm from Dundee, and I came to Edinburgh when I was 18 for university, and I've been here ever since, apart from 3 years in New Zealand and popping back and forward to Harris. We bought a house on Harris a couple of years ago. It's Sheila's dream, and she's done a wonderful job there. So I go back and forward to Harris, and I'll get there as soon as possible after all this as well, of course.
Very good. So what would your rugby background be? When did you first pick up a ball? And
no rugby background. It was a soccer school I was at. I never played rugby till I was 23. So Edinburgh Northern's the only club I've ever had. I came through to Edinburgh, a guy from Dundee from my school, my best mate Tom, and he had a rugby background. So once we got fed up with football in Edinburgh, the manager of our local pub in Buccleuch Street was a member of Northern. Well before your time, guys. A guy called Ian Mackay, if any of the old guys ever watched this. Ian Mackay took me in, turned down the club, and that's what I did. That first time I picked up a rugby ball, I turned up for the first training session in my football shorts and a silk not a silk, whatever the football material is, and got roundly abused for turning up for training like that. So that was my first attempt at rugby. So they stuck me on the wing, of course.
very good. We probably jumped in on Michael's question there, but how did you learn about the best club ever? So that was just through the pub then?
Just through the pub, yes. It's quite a lot of Northern members, I think, are just through the pub. That's right, yes.
Very good. Yeah. Would you remember the year, roughly?
I do. It was the summer of '75.
Very good.
Fantastic.
When I joined Northern, it was a wonderful summer. Do you remember it?
13 years before my birth, so no for me.
Hard to believe, eh?
Longevity. I suppose I'll kind of we'll jump ahead to my question, but I'll kind of chime back in with another one. What was the name of the pub on Buccleuch Street?
It was called the Buccleuch Arms, and it's no longer the Buccleuch Arms.
It is indeed. It's called the Dagda Bar.
Yes, I think I remember that now. Yes,
yeah.
I have to tell you that the Dagda Bar is not the same as the Buccleuch Arms was. It was fairly rough. It was it was a tough wee bar now, but it's quite posh now, isn't it? Some sort of wine. Was that the place you go to?
That is indeed my local.
Is that right?
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
it's the Buccleuch Arms via Proctors and the Dagda. So that's a very small world. That's a very small world. My next question was going to be, obviously you said your first appearance for Northern was on the wing, but you're kind of famous for your time at Northern for, I believe, playing scrum half.
Famous.
Famous. How did you manage to swap position?
I had obviously having played my first game of rugby ever at Northern, we had 5 15s then, so I started off in the 5ths. And so I ended up on the wing for the first 15, and then we turned up to play Falkirk one day, and the scrum half never turned up, whoever that was, I can't remember his name. And so Bernie Lodge, more of whom later I think, said, Joe, how do you fancy playing number 9? Which filled me with dread because of my lack of knowledge of rugby. Didn't stop my refereeing, of course, but that's another story for later as well. And so they stuck me in number 9, and wow, wasn't that great fun? I mean, you're a back row man, Jason, so you know what it's like to be involved in the game every single minute of the game, and you're a winger. You're a winger, Michael, and so you're not involved quite so frequently. So I just loved it, and so I thought I must stay there, even if I've got to play for the 2s again or the 3s or whatever. And so that's what I did. Yeah, I love the position. Yeah.
Very good. So you mentioned that first appearance there against Falkirk, but would there be any other memorable games or victories, tournaments you've played in even?
Well, you Yeah, you won't talk to anybody of my generation, rugby generation, who's not going to mention the game against Murrayfield where we won the league in 1982. I don't know if you know about that, but have you ever been stuck with myself or Brecon or Sylvester or Bonington or any of us old guys, and you want to spend half an hour or an hour getting bored off your skull, then just ask us about Murrayfield 82. We went that season undefeated. And not only that, we won every game. We won every game that season. And Murrayfield had won every game up until playing us. So it was old playing for everything in the last game, and we beat them. And so we were promoted to the National Leagues that day. Different now, it's structured now, but I suppose that would be National League 4. That's what we have now. It's 4 National Leagues now, is that right?
Yeah, it's
it 3?
It's free. It's the Super 6, and then there's the 3 of them. So probably National 3 would probably be what you were.
So we were promoted to National 3, and so we stayed there for 5 years. So that was the big game. I think we won it 9-3 or 9-6. It was really exciting. But that's how we won games in those days. That particular team, that's we just grinded them down. So yeah, that's the game. That's the game that we all talk about. And if you ask me again in 10 minutes, I'll tell you all about it again in 10 minutes.
So obviously, as a winger, then you must have found your way over the whitewash a few times. Are there any of your own tries which stand out? Well, not necessarily your own, others, of course.
Well, I didn't score all that many tries, to be honest. However, there is a game, and there used to be a cup competition, and we went through to play North Berwick on a Tuesday night. It was a nightmare evening. Nobody wanted to go. A lot of people didn't want to go, so we turned up with 15 guys, but it was a makeshift team. It was 1 versus 2, and North Berwick were well above us in the league, so they cuffed us. But we scored 1 try that day. We had a scrum on our own line, and they pushed us right back. And they hadn't me scrum half by this time, but they put me out on the wing because we just put the team together, and the hooker went to scrum half. And so they were pushing right back over our line. It was our ball, so he managed to scrap it away to our number 10, who was a guy called Fred Bell, who was a professional sprinter. And he got the ball, shimmied, and he was off. He was off like a bat out of hell. We're now we are in our own goal line at this point, our goal area, behind our own goal line, and off he went like a bat out of hell. He got to around about our own 10-metre line before he got clubbed, and he shipped it off to Rob Flavel, who was a flanker of that team. He took it another 10 metres to the halfway line, who was shipping it off halfway line to the ever speedy and available and supportive winger for the day, who caught it, which was the first thing which surprised people, and rounded the defence, and the other half, there you go. So it was from a try from in our own in-goal area. So nobody ever asked me that question due to the fact I answer it, and they know what's coming. So nobody will ever ask me again, I think. But that's the try I remember most. North Berwick, Tuesday night, freezing cold, miserable day. We got gubbed, but it was scored that try.
Very good. I scored my own first try against North Berwick, I'm sure. Cup game.
Oh, really?
Way back, whatever, 06, 07 season, I think. But anyway, Michael.
Yeah. Did you join the club at that age? Sorry, Michael. Were you in the club at 17?
No, it would have been 18 and 06. So, yeah, round about.
I was actually going to add my debut was against North Berwick away, although I didn't score, and I remember getting quite an eye opener as to how aggressive adult rugby was, which was fun. You've talked obviously play the wing, you've played at scrum half. Is there a favourite kind of Northerner you've played alongside that could be a number 8, or perhaps an inside centre or a fly half? Is there someone that stands out for you?
Well, you know, again, in those days, there was no replacements. I didn't have all that many different players to choose from, to be honest, because with no replacements and because we had a fairly successful team, at least that year, 82, and afterwards. it was fairly the same people. So if it was in the twos, then a guy called Alan Brown, who comes down and watches the games, Bruni, if you remember him or have seen him, he was an ex-captain. He was older than us, so I would catch him in the twos. But most of the games in the ones for years and years, that was myself and Ian Brecon, and that was it. Brecon was 8 and I was 9, and it always was. So so he's the guy that I played with most. And to be fair, you know, Ian could play rugby. He was a good player. He was around. He was fast for a forward. You know, he would keep up. Now we did the sprints at the end of the training session. You know, he was right up there with the wingers when they got to the end of the pitch. So he was fast and he was strong. So he's a good number 8. Outside me at 10, there were 2 people really at 10. Different players altogether. There's Dave Sylvester, who also comes on the club for the Sevens and doesn't watch the team much. I don't know if you know Dave, but what a boot he has on him. He could kick the ball 60, 70 metres, and it was just so easy. As long as I could get the ball away to him, then you know, it's like as a forward, especially, Jason, if you get up from a scrum and you see that you're going forward 50 metres, well, it stands very much, isn't it? Yeah, wonderful. So he could do that, and he kicked a lot of points for us. And in fact, there was one game, can't remember who it was, we'd scored a try and the opponent committed an act of foul play. So we scored, got the 7 points, and the referee started with a penalty for us on the halfway line, and so Dave slotted another 3. So it was a 10-point minute. And the other one was Peter Haddon. Now you know the Haddon name, obviously. David was the captain in '82, that team that won the league, and you've won the Haddon Trophy, I believe, twice for the Haddon sort, twice. Have you ever won that, Mikey?
I have not. I'm not renowned for my defensive side of the game, sadly.
That's not true. I blame that the selectors there. That's shabby.
Thank you.
So there was Dave Haddon. What was he talking about? Oh yes, outside me. Now Peter Haddon. Peter was Dave's brother. He played football for British universities, so he could. He had a different game he brought all together, and so Peter was outside me, and so these are the 2 number 10s. In fact, in one day, it must have been an international morning, Frank Haddon, the third brother, who of course was Scotland's team manager back in the day, and he could play. I mean, he played at a high level down south. So he turned up for a game on the Saturday morning. So the link between the forwards and the wingers, you like this, Michael, as a winger, the link went Smith, Haddon, in order to get to you on the wing. Well, I have to say that it was a morning game. We were all hungover and the ball never got much to the wing at all. In fact, given my infamous bad passing, no man had it either, but that's another story. So yeah, those were the players around me. Brecon and Brown, mainly Ian Brecon, and Haddon Sylvester outside me. Yeah.
Very good. Some brilliant northern names there, actually. So, on to your time refereeing then. Were there any blunders or controversial calls you'd like to share with us?
I beg your pardon. How dare you? How very dare you? I'm going to have to take a drink. Well, if you wanted to have a cast of blunders, I'm afraid you'd have to do a box set. And it'll outlast Game of Thrones, I'll tell you, and be more bloody. But I came up with 2 for you. I was down in Cardiff. It was Cardiff against some French team in the European Cup, or whatever it was called then, Heineken Cup. And I was running touch. And the French team were on the attack inside the Cardiff 22, and Big Malay or some sort of situation just by my touchline, and just as it was breaking up, 2 guys, one Cardiff guy and one French guy, fell over into touch, and as they were getting up, the Cardiff guy got up first, the big second row, and I could see that he had mischief on his mind. You could just tell by his demeanour that he had something he was thinking about doing. So I said, "Don't do it, mate, don't do it, just don't do it." And he did it. So I stuck my flag out, which was the signal for foul play back in the day. There was no communications for that particularly. They came a couple of years later. So I stuck my flag out and took my eyes back onto the pitch, by which time Cardiff had turned it over and they were streaking away towards the halfway line. Oh, wonderful. In and out passing over the head, everything's going on. And they go all the way down the bottom of the pitch, forwards and backs in concert, far over to the far corner, and they score a wonderful try. I can see your face here, Jason, you know what's coming up. They score a wonderful try in the far corner from me, having gone the length of the park, a turnover inside their own 22. The crowd are going wild. I don't know how many the stadium holds, which is many thousands, and they're going wild, and I've got my flag out. And the referee, Johnny Bacigalupo, eventually sees me. Maybe, I think the other touch judge told him, and he says, oh, come on over. So I goes over to where the try had been scored. I told him what happened. I said, Joe, are you really telling me that here we are in Wales with thousands of people watching us, they've scored the best try for years and years, and you want me to go back and give a penalty back there against them? Sorry, Johnny, that's it. So that's what we did. Booze going all over the place. Johnny heads diagonally straight towards where the penalty is going to be taken, and I felt, well, I can go with him, which would have been the professional thing to do, or I can go off to the side and walk up, because I'll never be here again, and I'll just take the flag. So I did. So I'm jogging up the side, and boy, did I get it in the neck. It was brilliant. I have to report that some of it was racist. But I got all sorts of, you jock this and you Scottish that. It was great fun. So that was the first controversial one. Not a blunder, because it was the right thing to do. But I'll give you another one if that's okay. It was across in Ireland, in Dublin, in fact. And I was refereeing this game, and I was taken out on the Friday night with the head of the Referee Society. And I should have known better. Don't ask a question to which you don't want to know the answer. I says to him, we'd only started replacements. I said, what's the replacement situation in Ireland? He says, no replacements, not allowed any. That's it, just not allowed. I said, oh, okay. Oh, right, all right. So, goes on to the game. First minute, as you would imagine, somebody breaks their leg. Off they go. Oh, on comes your man, all changed. I said, no. Can he come on? I said, what do you mean, can he come on? I've been told there's no replacement. The opposing captain comes over, let him on, ref. Sorry. So he wanders off again, and of course it's a disaster. I mean, it's, I don't know, 80 points or whatever, 79 minutes, 15 against 14. So we're in the bar, waiting to go for our meal that night, along with some other refereeing dignitaries from Dublin. And then walks one guy with a copy of the local paper, and it must have been a big game, because with the main headline on the back page, Scottish ref ruins game. Big, huge. And I really wish I'd kept that paper. Why didn't I keep that paper? Actually, I spent yesterday Googling to see if I could find it, but it doesn't exist. Or if it does, I can't find it. So that was I don't know if it's a blunder, but yes, it certainly caused some discussion in the bar afterwards.
That's fantastic. So obviously you've kind of mentioned, I didn't actually realise that you refereed at that high a level. So that's something quite new for me. So you must have refereed obviously kind of all around the UK and maybe further afield. I suppose, have you got a favourite fixture that you've refereed, or a favourite venue that you've refereed in?
Oh, I don't know about favourite fixture, to be honest. In venues, in the European situation, you hardly go to the same place twice, so you can't find a favourite one, although they're all wonderful things. But I'll tell you what, my favourite place to referee is undoubtedly on the pitch outside the beer tent at the Sevens. That one there, I love it, and I'm always make sure when I'm refereeing at the Sevens that I get at least one game on that pitch, so that the guys can all come out from the bar and roundly abuse me, which they take advantage, and they do that, and I just love that. I love that one. It's great refereeing at Northern. It really is. So Northern's my favourite place to referee.
Well done. And you've obviously graced many a clubhouse across Scotland and further afield, but what would you say then is Northern's unique selling point?
Well, I'm always in awe of Northern after the game, because they still have what I think, and still believe is the ethos of rugby union. I really do. I'm moving to be serious bit here now, because you have the dick of the day, you have the man of the match, you have the drinking competition, you have the boot, you have the blah blah, and it's good. You've both been to other clubs, and nothing happens after the game, and that's disappointing. And so we must keep that up, and I don't think it'll be difficult to do that. You guys are clearly doing it, and you're teaching the younger generation to you that's coming through to do it as well. And it's just wonderful. It's great being in the club after the game. I would say, and I've been told this by other dignitaries and players from other clubs, that the atmosphere at Northern is perhaps the best of any club after a game, because it's just bouncing, and I love it. It really is great. So that's a unique selling point of Edinburgh Northern for me. It's such a great club, and you guys do it. You always make new players welcome. The number of players I've met in the club over the years who've said, "Oh, we went down to name no names, but went down to this club and that club, and nobody talked to us, and so we came here, and as soon as we walked in the door, people saying, 'Come here, you're first time here, have a drink it in one, blah blah blah, go home drunk.'" And also after the game, we make opponents and the committee men welcome as well, and that's really, really important that we keep doing that. We know of at least one club you walk into after the game, and it's nothing happening. I went into this club once, and I was president with my blazer on and all that, and I went into the bar, and the guy said, "No, this is the players' bar. You can't get served here." I said, "Well, I'm president of your opponents." He said, "I don't care, but you have to go through the other bar." So I went through the other bar. There was nobody there. Everybody else was in the players' bar. So that's you probably know the team I'm talking about. So we must never do that. We must always make opponents and their committee men welcome, and that's happening. So keep that up, guys. Congratulations, well done.
Thank you. I would say one of my first memories of Northern actually is as you as president, being very friendly to me when I first joined, and obviously you're the first president I had at Northern. And obviously, you've talked to me a bit about how you played for Northern, how you've obviously been around for a while on the committee and so on. Who would you say are the three most influential Northerners during your time at the club, either on the pitch or through their work on committee?
Okay. I'm going to go for guys that have worked for, they've all been on the pitch, of course. So almost all of the old guys have been on the pitch and been very good on the pitch. But I'm going to go for people who are giants of Edinburgh Northern, if I may, in my opinion, giants of Edinburgh Northern. The first guy is, and there's not many of us will remember the first guy, a guy called Tom Henderson. Tom Henderson, I don't know if you've heard of him. You're nodding.
I know his influence, certainly.
Yeah. Tom Henderson was one of the founder members. So 100 years ago this year, Tom Henderson and some of his mates decided, let's have a rugby club in North Edinburgh. And obviously without Tom Henderson, there would be no Edinburgh Northern. We wouldn't be doing this, and who knows what we'd be doing. And so Tom was an outstanding club member. Not only did he founding member of the club, but he was a committee man, and he worked for the club right through his life. He lived till 80 something. And I recall when I was playing, Tom, he must have been, well, if he was founded the club in 1920, he must have been born about 1900. I joined in 75, so he was at least 75 when he was doing it. He built a scrummaging machine for the club at the age of almost 80. Just got out and built a scrummaging machine. You know, that's what he put into the club. So the area called the Tom Henderson Lounge used to be the first 15 dressing room, and when that was became part of the bar, we called it Tom Henderson Lounge. The second guy, another giant, is a guy called Bernie Lodge. And it never ceases to amaze me that there are people in the club that never met Bernie, and what a loss that is to you, because Bernie was an outstanding person, lovely man, nobody had a word to say against him. The whole of Edinburgh knew Bernie Lodge as Mr. Northern. And it's exaggeration to say that in the 50s, before my time, so I'm only reporting, that in the 50s he kept the club alive. It was on the way out, and he did all sorts of stuff, cajoled his mates from his work to come and play, and kept the club going. Without Benny Lodge, we wouldn't be here. And the third one is the guy you do know, because he's now been a club member for about 60 years, which is just bewildering, and that's Dave Mackenzie. And Dave Mackenzie is a northern man from head to toe and from front to back, his ever-increasing front to back. And Dave has done wonders for this club over the years, including being very generous in many ways. So, and he's now, of course, our honorary president. So these are the three, I would say, giants of Edinburgh Northern in my time here. Yeah, that's my answer.
Certainly, yeah. Sorry, we maybe had to limit it to three there, but three very big names again. So you've been about plenty of nights out, certainly in my time and obviously the years before. Would you have a most memorable or favourite one of them?
I missed the beginning of that. Favourite what?
So a night out with Northern, or an event with hosted, or
I think I would have to go back to that game, the only game that Northern ever played in my generation, the Murrayfield game, because we hit the town that night. We had champagne in the dressing room afterwards. It was December, so it was an early kick-off. The league's finished in December of that season. So it was champagne in the dressing room, then back to the club for a drink, and then off to the I can't remember the name of the nightclub, but it's now called Garibaldi's. You might have heard of it. And in those days it was something else. And we ended up there till whatever time, and who knows when, and nobody knows anything else about it. But that was just a wonderful, wonderful night, yeah. You've both been in teams that have won leagues and have won important games, and you know what it's like to want to get out and celebrate that achievement. So you've done that as well. So there's nothing extra special to our night out, to your night out, but it was wonderful, yeah.
Very good. And finally, for me, really, what are you most looking forward to when life returns to normal?
I missed the end of that one again. What am I looking forward to?
When life returns to normal, sort of.
Oh, life returns to normal. Rugby-wise, or what?
Just as wide as you want, really.
All right, okay. Well, life-wise, I'm looking forward to meeting Sheila again, and I'm looking forward to meeting my son and his wife and my grandson again. That's a great wrench not to be able to see all these people. So that's the top thing. In rugby, I want to get down to the bunker again. I've not been down much this year because of Harris, but I want to get down to the bunker again, and I'll be doing that as soon as possible, and seeing all you guys again. I do enjoy the company of the playing membership. I really find it great fun. So I'm looking forward to getting down to that. And also the Lion. I love the Lions tours, and I love World Cup tours. I don't think the Lions is going to happen next year, so we'll miss that probably. But I can't wait till they start again, and I'm looking forward to the World Cup's in France. So if I'm here and if it's there, then I'll look forward to that.
Very good.
Fantastic. I know, so you said that you'd watched a couple of these, so we've got a couple of questions from the Northern public for you.
Oh no.
So they're all very nice, actually. So the first one is from @dapper_gent. You're always impeccably well dressed down the club. Who are your style icons?
Well, I have to tell you that I give advice to Gok Wan, basically. So I have no style icons. I am the style icon, Michael, and the person who asked that question requires some education. A dapper gent, did you say?
Yeah, a dapper gent.
Right. We must work out, get to his IP address and find out who it is.
I will do. So the next one is from @sneaky scrum half. What are your tips for playing scrum half?
Is that wee Spilsy?
I couldn't name names.
I'll tell you, I'm very annoyed at Spolsey because I watched his interview and he picked Jules van der Westhuizen as his favourite scrum half. Well, I shouldn't be too harsh on him. He probably never saw me play, to be fair. Tips for playing scrum half. Improve your passing beyond mine. My pass, they used to call it a sort of I had a good spin pass, but it was on the other axis, so that was dangerous for my number 10s. My number 10s never grew up very good looking with what they had to take the ball up there and down there, and at the same time as people like wee Jason would hit them. My dam buster's pass was quite good. You're a history freak, Michael. You know what I mean by my dam buster's pass?
The bouncing pass.
Bouncing pass. It would bounce about 6 or 7 times before I got to Dave or Pete. At the end, they appreciated that. So work on your passing, I suppose, is probably a good idea for a scrum half. But also be a nippy wee sweetie and give them a hard time. Don't let referees offer you anything either. Take your lead from you, Jason Thompson there. Get these referees sorted out.
It's actually quite convenient you've just mentioned that. There's another question here from Infringing Flanker. Is the referee...
From what?
Infringing Flanker.
Infringing Flanker.
Infringing Flanker. And the question is the referee always right?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's right with his grammar, because you should be an infringing flanker. For a fact. Not that I'm a pedant on these things, as you understand.
Mm-hmm.
Is the referee always right? The referee is always right, and never more so than when he's wrong. That's a fact. When on my very first referee course, the guy taking one of the sessions was Jim Fleming, of whom you will have heard, no doubt. He used to referee down at Northern R7s actually as well. International referee. And he said, here is my advice to all of you new guys. Make your mistakes with confidence. And that really, for someone who made a lot of mistakes, that was great advice. Make sure that hand goes up straight, nice body posture. Do not have a body language that says, don't come near me, mate, I've made my decision, and that's it, go away. So, the referee is indeed always right, including Craig Schubert, by the way. Controversial or not.
I'm not sure I agree with you on that one. We've got a final question, which is from Christensen Anders, which is ask not what your club can do for you, but what can you do for your club?
Is that a question?
Yeah, I think it's a hypothetical one. It's obviously your very famous catchphrase.
Yes. And another president used it once as well. I think he stole it from me. I was disappointed with you, Michael, when you let the cat out the bag back in the day, when I used that phrase when I was the president, and people were dead impressed by my oratory until you told them I'd stolen it from a certain John F. Kennedy, who was quite a famous president as well. Yes, ask not what your club can do for you, ask rather what you can do for your club. And I think that's you two guys know that anyway. I mean, can I take the opportunity to say to both of you, not only because of this, which I think is great, but both of you have put in a great shift at the club up to now, and you're still so young, all these years ahead of you, to do even more. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I doubt either of us are going to go build a scrum machine in our latter years. So certainly, thanks for that, Joe. Next time on the Cockerel Cast, we'll be speaking to Northern members and lockdown flatmates Jamie Kindness and Callum Harper. So please send us your questions for them. But for now, Joe, it's been a pleasure chatting as always. We hope you see your family very soon. We trust you're staying safe, and let's hope it's not too long before we're enjoying a pint in the bunker.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Thanks to both of you. It's been a pleasure. Hope to see you soon. And to anybody else, and to the other 2 people who are watching, hope to see you both soon as well.
Cheers.